everyone, and welcome to another episode of There Are Four Hosts. See, I said it right this time. Today we're going to talk about episode 7, Nepenthe. Before we actually get into the episode real quickly, soft and sweet. How did you feel about this episode, Michael?
Hold on. I gotta interject. Are we gonna do intros? Like, of who we are?
Oh, shit, yeah, I totally forgot.
We've only been doing
Do we
this for
even need
9
intros
episodes.
at this point? Alright, whatever. Hey everyone, I'm VoidCat Gaming. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram. My actual name is Sabrina. Whatever.
You can
I'm
find.
just really excited to talk about this episode, okay?
Almost there.
I'm Jonathan. You can find me at Just Average J everywhere on social media.
And I'm Michael. You can find me at Blue Beetle Games.
I'm the one that people call Keith Justice, but you can find me at Keith Hayward at on the Twitters.
Mr. Justice.
On the Twitters.
Okay, now you can start, Sabrina.
All right, Michael, how do you feel about this episode?
I loved
sweet.
half of it, and I'm sure you can guess which one. That was the Nepenthe. And do you want me to go into more detail or just that?
No, that's enough.
Okay, gotcha.
Jay?
I loved it. I mean, it's actually my favorite episode now.
So far. All right.
Yep, so far.
Keith?
I thought it was fine. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so goddamn sorry. I want to be.
No,
I don't want to
we
be
love you,
Mr. Negative
Keith.
at all. I don't want to be Mr. Negative at all. I love seeing those actors on the screen again. But like the episode, let me go. All right, that was good.
All right. I'm actually with Michael on this one.
Whoa.
Half of the episode I thought was great, and half of the episode I was...
So we almost never agree.
Don't be
Sabrina.
that surprised, Michael. We agree sometimes.
Occasionally, yes.
All right, so today we're going to do things a little differently. And like I said, and like Michael said, it felt like there's like one half that was great and one half that was... So we're going to talk about all the parts that aren't Nepenthe, and then we'll talk about all the parts that are. So, therefore, we are starting on Daystrom in Okinawa with Agnes and a Vulcan lady who works for Starfleet.
Wait, that's in Okinawa?
Yeah,
It
the
said
dates
Okinawa.
were the, yeah.
That's where Karate Kid 2 took place.
I know that, Keith. Yes, that's awesome.
Oh my God.
The
I
woman
was waiting to
from
see Mr.
Karate Kid
Miyagi
2
up there.
Wait, the woman from Karate Kid 2 is in that scene in Okinawa in the future. I'm just saying that's kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah, I'm
Don't-
guessing they did that deliberately, too. 'Cause
Don't get Keith and I started on Karate Kid, though.
I didn't. Keith got you.
Yeah, I know.
No, the Mitch from Okinawa did. Anyway.
We already saw the beginning of the scene a couple episodes ago, and then they actually played the whole thing out so that we could see what Agnes was talking about. Keith, how did you feel about that scene?
Feels like I'm watching Battlestar Galactica. Like this is the Battlestar Galactica plot where there's like this the cycle that the people in that world eventually decide they want to keep stopping, which is if you guys get sense, end of the worlds happen. So it's like, oh, all right, you know, if this is what you guys want to do, this is cool.
You're like, oh, I've seen this plot already.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to let it go. Like they're not going to do Star Trek. Let's see what they do with what they have. So, all right, the new synth invasion. How does this one go? Is how I feel.
Michael?
Well, first off, I think you should ask somebody before you mind meld with them. That's kind of just like grabbing their head and jumping in. That was kind of like, fuck, you know.
Heads up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to fuck
That's
your
actually
mind.
one of my notes. You usually ask for permission for mind melds. Yeah.
Yeah. If you ask, yeah. So, but I don't know. I thought the scenes, you know, with the mind meld were interesting. I haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, so I can't compare it to that. But it just made me more interested to see how it all kicks off. And I almost kind of want the synths to win just so I can see all that happen. But I guess that's bad.
Agreed.
that was my thought.
That's what season 2 is about. What do you mean?
There you go.
Jay, how you feel?
Well, first off, so yeah, the mind meld. It's like I think that she's kind of the head honcho of security, so she just kind of does whatever she wants. Is the way I feel. You know,
Doesn't make it right, but yeah.
Yeah, agreed. But that said, you know, I didn't know that Vulcans or Romulans could tell the future. So it's like, maybe if it's some prophecy, how does she have like the ability to see the future and then show them it through a mind meld? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they're like, there's a little bit of a disconnect with like, hey, wait a minute, like you don't really know what's going to happen. It's a prophecy.
Unless
I think
Unless
Sorry,
it's
Dan.
like Battlestar Galactica and it happens over and over and over, and then in that
There you
case it's
go.
like, okay, this has been done.
yeah, I think what I thought we saw was that maybe Vulcans and Romulans all have that shared past of, trust me, you don't want synths, or else this happens.
Also,
Yeah, that's...
Also, sorry, let me chime in. This never came up during the 7 years of TNG, and Data was a synth, and he created LOL. He created LOL. I mean, that was another synth that he was trying to build, and that never came up. So there were already synths. He was like, kinda, but still, I don't know. Maybe not to this extent. I mean, obviously not to this extent, but maybe that's like the defining factor of them getting involved. Is it becoming like, what is it, more than 5, more than 10, more than 100?
Yeah.
Like where's the line?
And real quickly, I think as far as I know, you can't fake like a mind meld, right? So it's like what she showed her was real, according to the Commodore or whatever her title is.
Right. Well, it could be an implanted memory also.
Damn it, that's right. Damn it,
Something that happened in the
that's true.
past.
Yeah.
I'm certainly going the same kind of route, that if she's not secretly Romulan, it's that when the Vulcans and the Romulans were still on the same planet, shit happened with synths, and it's like a racial memory that they've been passing on, I guess. But I'm not sure how much sense it really makes. It kind of feels like that thing I've been complaining about the backwards working. So they were like, oh, we have to make sure that Agnes changes her mind about synths completely. So
And Agnes throws
dies.
up a lot too, by the way. It seems like.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Allison Pill so much.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think that
does.
was like I think that was in the vision of the future. I think it was of the past, and like that Vulcan lady was there at some kind of ritual where things went crazy.
The Vulcan lady was there at the time.
Yeah, well, they are like 1,000 years living elves, so
Yeah.
why not?
I thought Vulcans lived like 300
Oh,
years.
Yeah.
that I never mind. Well, still, maybe it happened 300 years ago. I don't know. I wasn't
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Briefly, well, no, hold on. Anybody else have anything to say about that scene?
No.
I think we kind of covered it.
Yeah.
Cool shot of seeing Allison Pill in the reflection of the Vulcan lady's sunglasses.
Yeah.
Is a note.
Yeah, I mean, Picard is beautiful. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Although, I know it shows up later, but I had to laugh when they had a replicator and it was like clearly 3D printer. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. I want a 3D printer like that. Shit.
Me too.
yeah, I wish I wish 3D printers worked like that. Just perfect. So fast.
Yeah.
All right. The ship is tractor beamed to the Borg cube. I don't think we really need to talk about that right now. Okay. Oh, the Borg cube. Romulan lady. I guess I can't call her incest twin anymore because they've been so separated. How sad. She threatens Hugh, and then just he doesn't answer, so she murders all the XPs. Yep, cool. We evil Romulan lady, yay.
Are you guys into wrestling at all?
No, I am not.
Not really.
Me neither, but I do find like the world fascinating and their terms and like how they see fiction or their worlds. And what they did to Hugh is called jobbing him. It's when you bring back like a beloved character and you just freaking wreck them, so you make the audience mad and make them feel something. So I was like, they're jobbing Hugh. So yeah.
Yep, I had the same feeling. I was like, okay, and
If he was going to die, I would have rather it been, like saving Picard or something meaningful. I don't know. It just seems stupid to me.
well, spoilers for the rest of the episode. But they also had that scene so they could have, I feel, an excuse to bring Jerry Ryan back, because they're like, we're killing all the XPs in this scene so that we have to have Jerry be the XP that activates the Queen
Yeah.
cell.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
That
once
is-
again,
yeah.
a scene that exists for future plot reasons.
Yeah.
My money was still on Soji being the activator in the Queen cell.
Mine is still on Soji being, on Daj being the like one who starts everything like exploding and shit, but I'm not sure that she can activate the Queen cell itself because that's supposed to
gotta
be like
be
a Borg only thing,
XP
and they have to be
thing.
wired in.
Yeah.
Oh, and clarifying something from the last episode. I was saying that I don't think Daj is coming back. When I said the siblings not coming back, then like in the podcast, you guys answered me as if I was talking to the incest twins. but I meant Daj. And then like the conversation played out, and when I listened, I was like, oh wait, we're both talking about two separate things.
My bad.
Okay.
Well, Soji then. One of the android siblings.
Yes. I want to actually chime in real quick on that scene. It was really sweet when Elnor and Hugh kind of like touched heads, and they had that moment. You know what I mean?
I thought they were gonna kiss, but
Elnor does
bro.
well, it's funny because he's kind of socially awkward. So it's very interesting because he just doesn't know sometimes like what's okay, what's not okay, which is adorable, which is his character. But it was really sweet, and and for a split second I was like, oh, they're both gonna join Picard's ship, and then Hugh died, and I'm like,
Womp womp.
Yeah. Do we know why they stayed behind?
to give them
reasons.
I think to buy them time.
To buy them time.
Yeah, which is plot reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. Buy them time. How? Yeah.
It's in the script. Yeah.
Those
could've went
Romulan
through that
guards
gate.
that they murked that she was angry about, but like not really angry about because she clearly doesn't really care about
Anyone?
her people.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyone. Yeah. Yeah, it is very interesting that the concept for her character is that she's working really hard to prevent a tragedy and millions of people dying, but also clearly does not give a shit about innocent people. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this character.
Maybe
but
she just hates
sure, whatever.
synths more than
She's like, I don't really care about saving innocent lives. I just want to murder some synths.
There you go.
All right.
Well, I think the way she comes off is just that she is just that into her job. So it just means I'll kill whoever. I don't care.
She's very dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a big question.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, since Narek is the one who got the information from Soji about the planet, why is he following the ship?
Yeah, I thought that's where everyone was going, actually. I thought, like, this is where... Because I didn't see... When they made the jump to the portal, I didn't know they were going to Riker's planet. I thought everyone was like, next stop, the mysterious red planet. And no, that's not what happened. And he knows
Same.
where it is.
Yeah. Anybody else have ideas? Because I just can't figure out why he would be following the ship and trying to get to Picard instead of going to the planet that Soji...
Yeah.
That he's been trying to get the information from Soji for the whole time. Like,
That doesn't make any
tell me.
sense to me at all. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, this is going ahead a little much, and we're going to talk about Nepenthe a little bit, but
that's fine.
But
We'll
the
go back and forth.
but if you recall, they didn't. So all she said was, red sky, lightning, and 2 moons or something, right?
No, 2 red moons,
2 red moons,
lightning.
Yeah. So
Blood
basically, you have to take that information and then figure out what planet that is, and the universe is gigantic. So
Sure, but
yeah.
that wasn't enough information for that random captain that what's her face that
Yeah.
Well, and I think
You know,
that, but
so-
again, I think it was part of the plot point of, yeah, I know. But I didn't second guess it because I was just like, well, maybe he just thinks that he'll be able to find it quicker if he just follows them, because they obviously are going to know where they're going. And he's like, well, this will just be quicker. I mean, in all
maybe.
honesty, I just saw it as a lazy move. Like, I'll just follow him.
Okay.
It's going to be quicker.
Anybody else?
So lazy Romulan. That's what we're
Exactly. Yeah.
Lazy
Yeah.
Romulan.
Lazy Romulan.
The whole thing with Narek though is that like he thinks in puzzles.
Yeah.
So is he smart or isn't he? Come on.
Well, I like how the whole time with what is it, Daj? No, Soji. He's all lovey and stuff, and then now he's in the ship. He's all like badass Romulan with his puzzles and following him, and it's kind of
Yeah.
I don't know. It's silly now.
Yeah, he's gone from being like soft boy being abused by his sister to just like being a badass. I'm like,
Right.
Okay.
Now I'm a bounty hunter. Guys, now I'm a bounty hunter. Okay, you are. I know you are. It
All
is
right.
an Elite
So-
Dangerous ship, which actually was kind of cool. Once again, please God, give these people another job, because I do love like the world, the kind of world building I'm seeing, and like the production design and all that, and like these plot ideas. It's just like if they weren't going this Star Trek, I think we'd be having a lot more fun. Or
Yeah,
I'd be.
and we're definitely gonna have to have a long conversation after the show's over about like what
Yes.
we feel represents something being Star Trek as opposed to being Battlestar Galactica or Firefly or
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
something
Mass
new,
Effect.
so that like all of this. Yeah, exactly. So that all of this can
Scooby-Doo.
make more sense. Yeah, Scooby-Doo. That's the
Scooby-Doo.
one. Okay, let me skip all these notes about Nepenthe, because we're going to come back to those. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff on the Nepenthe, and in the back, the next scene that's not there is on the ship again. Narek is chasing them. Agnes is scared. Oh, it's the Raffi. Okay. Raffi taking care of Agnes. Oh, man. I'll give you whatever you need. Is it cake?
Yeah.
You bet it's cake.
I thought it was drugs.
Yeah.
were in the
Same. I
cake.
was like,
And then the cake actually shows up like, oh, the cake isn't a lie.
Yes.
the cake isn't a lie. I had the exact same moment. Yeah, I was like, it's not cake, and then I was like, oh right, replicators. Okay,
Yeah.
I can give her cake. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, my note says, the cake is a lie. They gotta do drugs.
Actually, my note says, Raffi, I'll give you some drugs. So same.
Special cake,
Sure, cake. That's what we call it.
Wink. It's just cake.
I mean,
Yeah, I almost
let's
thought that was
just
like
talk
a
about
joke even.
The whole bit of just her taking care of Agnes and feeding her 3 slices of massive cake.
I'll say real quickly, just before that, I am kind of liking the idea what they are doing with basically you can make a computer out of a hologram so that your computer is everywhere. So his piloting chair is like wherever he's standing, he can access the controls.
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So
That's a cool detail.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That is very cool. I like that.
Right. You are right. How do we feel about the developing Raffi Agnes kind of relationship?
Well, I think they, I would think Rios and Raffi would be kind of questioning like Agnes's sudden turn from like, oh, let's go get the synth to like fucking synths, let's leave them alone. But they're just kind of like, okay. I just wonder if they'll question her about that, or it just seems like to them it should seem like a very dramatic turn for her.
Yeah, I actually felt weird about the whole thing that happened on that ship because also, like, Rios has known Raffi for a really long time, so why is he suddenly suspicious of Raffi when Agnes is the one, like...
Yeah.
Agnes is crying, puking,
Yeah, it
jittering.
But don't you worry, you guys. We need to make sure he's not suspicious of her, so he's just going to be suspicious of Raffi instead. Yeah, it feels like another decision that was made for the plot, rather than based on the character development.
Thankfully, we had
written that
Nepenthe
way.
in this too.
Yeah, that's kind of what upsets me though, because like Nepenthe has such great like character dynamics, but they're characters that were already developed. So I'm like, are you guys just not bothering to develop any of these new characters? Or like not treating them like characters at all?
That's true.
And then, like, they're so happy to get away, and then someone has to remind them that Elnor was a thing. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
We
right.
forgot
And
about
they
Elnor.
communicate him. He's like, just go. They're like, oh, you're so crazy and brave. Haha.
yeah. And Elnor's like, I thought his mission was to protect Picard. Like, why is this? Me grumble.
Jay, you've been
grumble.
quiet. What's up?
Sorry about that. Actually, my heater turned on. It was crazy loud, and I had to like turn my microphone off for a minute. It just turned off, so I apologize. I had to leave the room. I sent you a message in the. Yeah, sorry.
I was definitely not looking at it.
Sorry
We had a
about
lot
that,
of deep
everyone.
insight when you were gone, Jay.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Thank
We're
you.
talking about the Agnes, Raffi, Rios situation and how weird it is that Rios is like super suspicious of Raffi and not at all suspicious of Agnes, even though Agnes is like having a meltdown.
Well, and he's known her for what, like 2 days or something? I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Has he been inside Raffi? Because he's been inside Agnes. So
That doesn't breed trust. That's not how the Force works.
whoa, Jay,
That's not how the Force works.
I'm sorry.
that's
but
not how trust works, buddy.
I know. I'm sorry. I just thought that
I'm
was.
gonna have to
funny.
definitely mark this explicit for sure.
Well, we marked him mature already, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm awake now.
Therefore, there's no way she could picture yes. That's just not how it works.
Once
Rafi's
you got sex with someone,
Jay, you're fired. No,
poor Agnes.
Oh,
Sorry.
That's why she was throwing up. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, God,
She's
no.
pregnant.
Oh my god! Even though didn't she meet
Jeez,
the Commodore before they? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It's Star Trek. Timelines don't matter.
I will say that
timelines
for
don't matter.
several years now, I've been hating how much better Hollywood's been getting at puke takes. I'd never needed that to be better.
Puke
Yeah,
takes.
that's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Just don't put it on camera.
Yeah.
Have them throw up, like fall off screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
But
don't want to
Dry
Yeah.
heaves are cool. I don't need the moist. Ugh.
Yeah.
But
I
all
do
to be
think
s-
that
oh,
they.
Sorry.
Sorry. I do think that they did that, her throwing up and him being like, is it blood? And her being like, no, it's red velvet, to like kind of suggest that something bad was coming. But it's not really foreshadowing that we needed, considering it was foreshadowing something that was happening like 10 minutes later.
Yeah. No,
Jay,
but
you were saying?
I did think it was
what I
blood,
was going
though.
to say is, it is suspicious because I mean, Raffi and him are supposed to be tight, and Agnes is like this person that he's known for a week.
Yeah.
You know,
Rafi's the one who got him involved in the first
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, it is a little fishy, but again, I think it's plot moving, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's the conclusion we came to.
Yep.
That's tiring. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much covers everything that happened on that ship in that episode, except for, I would like to know how Agnes putting herself in a coma breaks the tractor.
The tracker,
The tracking ship.
tracker.
Maybe
yeah.
she might have been trying to kill herself to stop the tracker, and then it just ended up in a coma.
It was to neutralize the tracker inside her.
Yeah.
Well, so it'll to be honest, you know, it's gonna come up next episode because she's in a coma. They're gonna find out like, oh, she put herself in a coma because of this, and then it's gonna like explain why. They're gonna do that. I know.
Maybe.
I just would like to know the logic of, like, if you eat this thing and you chew it and it goes into your body, the way to get rid of it is to use a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
Because it attacks the microchip thingies and it sorts them out.
Well, I thought.
Okay.
At least that's what they went
Yeah.
for. That's what they're going
It
for.
definitely can't just, like, use Epicac to make herself throw up or anything.
Well, she already threw up and it
has to
didn't
be a
work.
neurotoxin.
Oh no, it's all in her bloodstream and system. It's not
Yeah.
just in her stomach anymore. It's all in her
Yeah.
body. So she has to get all the nanites by poisoning herself.
It's like that episode where Weir thinks she's in a mental hospital. Nanites.
Star
Sorry,
Trek Atlantis.
somebody says
reference.
nanites, and I just go to Star Trek, Stargate immediately. So I know they exist in other places. Just they're in so much of Stargate that I can't undo. All right,
Sarah
anybody
Johnson.
else want to talk about anything that happens on the ship? I like that the EMH activates automatically in a medical emergency.
Well, I
that
love
makes
it.
sense since
I love it how-
Rios is usually by
Sorry, go ahead.
himself.
Well, I love it how he's like, bloody hells, runs over.
I know. Not again.
It's
Like
like,
every
shit.
time I come out.
Somebody's dying.
Why are there always medical emergencies on this ship? Oh, right, I'm the medical emergency hologram. Okay.
But yeah, he has a crappy EMH then, because like, when is this thing gonna say, "I was totally there. She killed this dude right in front of me"? Like, or
Yeah.
I know.
yeah, but it somehow we just
She
let
erased
it go.
files. She's an AI professional, okay?
Right.
okay. Wait, did they show her doing that?
No.
Nope, nope.
I will say that is a good call because if anyone could do that, she could.
True.
But hey, just give us like a 2-second scene or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Believe me, I'm with you. All right. Does anybody else have anything to say about anything that happened on the ship?
No.
Not yet. Are we going? Are we coming? Are we done with Hugh? Oh no, just the ship.
No,
Okay,
we're
never
not done with you yet.
mind. Okay.
I just we can just do storylines.
Okay.
Ship. Yeah, I still think it's funny that Narek is following them and not going straight to the planet.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll become
And following
clear.
Why-
them like following them in a way that you could always get detected. Like there's zero chance of not being seen right behind the ship. Like
Well,
right.
Yeah,
he's
just
supposed to
like
be in there.
sit in their warp.
He's
place or
in
whatever.
there blind spotted. Every ship has a blind spot.
That's such
in
a like a
space, yeah.
Star Wars move too, just
Yeah.
like the Millennium Falcon sitting on top of the Star Destroyer and then disappearing to the trash,
Tracking through light speed.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I thought of something to say and then I forgot it. What the heck? Oh, actually, they tricked me when, briefly, Narek was in the ship, leaving while she was hunting down Hugh, his sister, and I was like, oh, maybe he did break away from her and not give her the info. And then he's following the ship, and I was like, oh, I guess, never mind, because the Vulcan lady who's working with the Romulan lady implanted the tracker, so I guess they're all still Gucci.
Yeah.
But they didn't interact that episode, which, strangely, I take as a blessing.
Yeah.
Just all of those sibling scenes make me real uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys. Actually, I do know about you guys
Yep.
because you've all complained about them too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Forget them. Let's talk about Hugh and Elnor. Y'all sad
Why'd you
about
do
Hugh?
that, guys? Why'd you do that?
I know.
Just brought him
Because
back.
I'm telling
gave
you,
us all
7 of 9 has to be the only X-Borg left.
Why
He
though?
has to activate the Queen cell.
So they can.
I was
all,
actually
you know,
thinking like I was
Because they
actually
have to
thinking
hunt
something's
her
gonna
down
happen
to
him.
activate the Queen cell. I'm telling you, that's why.
I want to know how
Like,
she
when I was
gets.
thinking about that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say like I was thinking up to this episode. I was like, wait a second, man, that was a happy moment with Hugh and Picard.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh no! Yeah.
And you were right.
Man,
Yep.
Dead.
they got
son.
Yeah.
us.
No, I want to know. How does 7 of 9? Like, first off, there are mines around the cube. I mean, obviously, this is next episode, so we'll figure it out. But there are mines around the cube. It's crazy guarded by Romulans. She's not necessarily friends with the Romulans. She's a ranger.
Certainly not.
So, like, and then how does she, like, know what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, it's... I want to see kind of how this plays out, because how are they going to explain how she, first off, gets the call, second off, gets into the Borg cube without getting destroyed, third off...
Well,
yeah. What's
go
that?
ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, well, Elnor activated her SOS that she left. You remember?
Oh, that was... Oh, okay. I didn't realize...
hers,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't realize
Where the hell
what
did that come
was.
from? But
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't recall Picard giving Elnor that.
Yeah,
But
that's... I was wondering. I wasn't sure what that was or where it came from. Okay.
And then like, wasn't it kind of weird in the shot? It seemed to kind of appear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like hanging there or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what is that thing? Why is it there?
Like have him
Oh,
pull it
it's
out of
the
his pocket or something.
Yeah.
Did Picard leave it exactly in the right place where he happened to be hiding? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's Picard, so yes, he did.
Yeah, I am. I do feel like sometimes it follows the what is the word for that?
Trope.
No, there's a J.J. Abrams movie, Cloverfield. The Cloverfield monster thing. So, in Cloverfield, there's this massive monster, and then there's a bit towards the end where they're in like this huge open space, and then the camera turns around and all of a sudden the monster's behind them.
Oh yeah.
But if they were really in a huge open space, like, you would see the fucking monster coming. So it's a camera trick to hide it from the audience, but it somehow also works on the characters inside the game, inside the movie. And it's kind of like if the audience can't see it, then things can move wherever they want kind of thing. And I'm concerned they're going to do that with Jerry Ryan. They're like, we don't have to give you an explanation because it happened off camera.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll
So-
see next episode.
Yeah.
Was I confused though? Where, because I didn't relook at it. Was he holding it up in front of the camera, and then we were like seeing it like that, or was it randomly seemingly dangling from something?
It seemed
I'm going to go with
randomly.
randomly
Yeah.
dangling.
It looked like it was dangling.
Okay, I hope there's an explanation for that.
Same.
Yeah, I was like, the fuck.
Like maybe the cube itself is helping him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That'd be cooler than no explanation.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is what we're gonna get. No
Yeah.
explanation.
Right?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's the don't
heard-
ask any questions philosophy. Just deal. Don't ask questions. Just like it.
Don't ask questions. Just accept it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I ask questions about Star Trek all the time. Even if sometimes the answer is, well, that's dumb. Bev ghosts.
Which ghosts?
Bev ghosts. Bev ghosts?
I
Oh
was
yeah.
gonna say you
F
have to know that.
goes.
Okay.
No.
Or, I mean, we could talk about Troy's first child. Remember
That guy
that?
Poor
who
Thad.
flew away
Mm-hmm.
and turned into a star.
The light baby.
Yep.
Yep.
First child.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, the not Will's kid.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
That grew up in like 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just bagging on a
Classic
couple of
Star
TNG
Trek.
episodes.
God bless you.
But I mean, that's the benefit of episodic shows is that you can do a really dumb one, and then it doesn't affect like the overall, like quality of the stuff.
You step in, you get some weirdness, and you step out.
Yep.
Yep.
I love that.
And sometimes that gives birth to some wonderful like weird shit, like sentient Moriarty.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Just real
I love that.
beauty.
Who's still exploring a holodeck galaxy in his not as fast of light? Like he's only in a shuttle, if I
Yeah.
remember right. Last time we saw him,
And this
Doesn't
little
have warp
cube.
speed. Maybe the cube is Moriarty.
Oh my God.
Dun dun dun.
Holy oh my god, this is happening.
Amazing.
I wish.
All right. I think we're pretty much done with everything that's not Nepenthe. So.
Yay!
Oh no, we're not. Hold on.
God damn.
I want to talk about one thing. I thought it was really funny. I see. You're a Kulit Mina. Okay. You know Zadvash and Kulit Mina have a special way of fighting. Hand to hand! Really? Why?
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
I do like that she wins because she has a higher power level than him. That was actually okay with me.
Yeah, I'm cool with her
She's had
winning.
far more training.
But did she win because she had a higher power level, or because she told him to do hand to hand and then took out some throwing knives?
Well, yeah.
Although that actually does make a good point about Romulan culture, where you have the Zadvash be like, "Oh yeah, I'll totally fight you hand to hand." Not. Meanwhile, Elnor, who is from Absolute Candor, is like, "Oh, the idea that you would cheat me didn't even occur. Whoops."
Yeah.
So that's fair, but it's also just a thing about him being, an innocent, naive babe.
That costs you his life.
Yeah, I literally wrote down. Frankly, I literally wrote down, "I'm bored" during the fight scene. So, whoops.
I tried to be into it. I do appreciate that. With his sword technique, in close quarters, he would be dangerous. So that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Damn it, Hugh! Stay down.
Yeah.
Hugh,
How long have you been in space, man?
just hide, man.
How long have you been in this game and you don't know to stay undercover?
Yeah. Wear a throat guard or something. Come on, man. All right. We good?
Yes.
I think we're good.
All right, let's talk about Nepenthe.
Yay.
Woo. Okay, so they beam down onto the planet. Sochi does not take travel well and collapses on the ground, which I thought was a cute detail because, it takes a while to get used to shit like that. Although I did have a moment. Okay, so Kestra shows up, and you will not be shocked to know I love Kestra. Her actress actually showed up in The Haunting of Hill House, and she plays a younger version of one of the adult characters. And when I saw that at the time, I was absolutely blown away by her acting. It was like, it's really difficult for an 11-year-old to do this sort of things. She copied the older actress's way of speaking. I mean, I'm sure they worked together on it, but imitated her body language. I was just like, that's really nuanced acting for somebody of her age, and I'm still impressed. I look really forward to seeing her development as an actress because I think it's gonna be amazing. But a moment I thought was funny was Picard says, I mean, aim in my head, my heart is solid
Heart of
Duranium.
steel. Yep.
And I was like, hold on, though. In TOS, 100 years before that, okay, it was in one of the movies, I admit, but somebody gives, when I say somebody, I mean Bones, gives a lady a pill to regrow her liver. So I'm like, why didn't they just regrow the heart?
Well, and then what about that whole regrowth thing of Worf's spine, his backbone? Do you
Right,
remember?
exactly.
Like they grew that and it worked.
And
I think
actually,
it's
we're
like,
getting pretty
hey,
close to that now.
Picard, do you want a bulletproof heart or one that dies?
Yeah, there
I'll
exactly.
take the bulletproof
I want one that's Nausicaan proof.
okay.
I want one that's Nausicaan proof.
Yeah.
Those dreaded Nausicaans. You know what? Let's just overall feelings about Nepenthe.
I cried.
Michael?
I loved it. It's because TNG was always my show, and so seeing Picard, Riker, and Troy was like seeing old friends come together. I just wish I could have been there for the big group hug.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it was, Nepenthe made everything else in the episode just fade away and doesn't even matter because Nepenthe was dope.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so this episode is not 45 minutes. This episode is an hour long. And it's because they took their time on Nepenthe with like character interaction and stuff, which is exactly the stuff that they haven't been doing the rest of the series, and exactly what I've been complaining about. That all of the in-character scenes have either been to set up a plot device or to set up whatever, and then these genuinely, like, they felt genuine. And it's exactly what I've been missing from the series, but I'm disappointed that it had to be 3 characters that already existed and that we already know their history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, it was, yep.
There's so much good.
I
so much good in that.
I thought was a Kestra. I liked her Ewok costume. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I got totally suckered. I thought that we had gone, because I know we were going to Riker's planet, so I thought she was going to be part of like some kind of like Stargate, low technology village, and that we were going to get to know like this new world. And then she's like, "Nah, it's just a costume." Like, oh, this is how we get to Riker and Troy.
I love Picard knew who it was. Like, hey, Kestra, your parents home?
Yeah.
Hi, honey. Where's mom and dad?
Well, I loved Riker and Troy's house for, if no other reason than it has it has shields on it. I'm like,
Yes.
he's like, raise shields. I'm like, I want my house to have
detail.
shields.
Well, and anti-cloak
makes-
technology? Come on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense that somebody who's still in reserve and who have the history as a couple, they both have that history with Starfleet, that they would prep for maybe having some enemies.
Yeah.
Yep, someone
Especially
might come and
since
attack me.
they live in an area that has problems. He mentions that like specific groups have been attacking the area, so nice detail there.
Well, it's a planet with regenerative properties. It's kind of like the whole insurrection thing, where everyone's fighting for the planet. Like it's it's regenerative, so of course there's going to be some kind of conflict going on.
Yeah.
And that certainly explains the tomato plants, because those were some like heavy tomatoes. I was like, wow, Troy, I don't know what you put in your dirt there, but you're doing it.
Yep. Speaking of, I love Soji's reaction. Like, because, you start realizing that, okay, yeah, she's an android or she's a synth, and you start, like, through this whole process, we're starting to, like, really own the fact that, yeah, like, we thought she was human, but she's not, and we're starting to feel like, yeah, she's a synth. But then she has taste buds, she has, blood, she has all this stuff, and then you're like, it's this weird conflict of, okay, she's a synth, but she's fully, like, she has, like, her reaction to that tomato was really kind of adorable.
Yeah.
Like, this is so good.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've never had non-replicated food. Huh.
Yeah.
Same girl.
I didn't totally get that though. So, did she, in her memories, did she grow up on Earth, or how did she only like go an entire life that she thought she had without having normal food? Because there's not like a, it's not rare to have normal food in the Star Trek universe. It's just like, on starships on long journeys you'd be caught with that. But yeah, I wasn't sure like how that was supposed to be working.
Well, maybe she's questioning everything from before the Borg cube, and she's just like, I assume I've never had real food. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good point, though. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't think.
Well,
about
that planet in her memory when she was younger had, like, lightning and stuff, and it didn't look like an appealing, like, it didn't look like it would grow things well.
a place where you grow tomatoes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
And then she was on a Borg cube, and I mean, maybe she hasn't.
Well,
you know,
it not to her. That's not how it worked. But how we see it, that's how it worked.
Yeah.
For her, she should have. It looked like she had a normal life in her memory, so I wasn't sure why this was happening. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's valid. I didn't even think of that.
I did love how Riker was like, I'm still Riker, and I was a captain once too, dude, and like I can do mysteries. I don't care if you're trying to keep secrets from me. She's an android. You're on the run. Da da da. I was like, all right, you're still Riker.
Yeah,
beautiful scene.
Oh yeah,
I really like that. He's like, oh, you don't have to say anything. Let me just talk for a bit.
And
I'm right. I'm right. I know I'm right.
I love the head tilt. He's like, I'd recognize that head tilt anywhere. There's data in there. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was a cute line, but I didn't actually recall Soji doing a head tilt, so I was like.
I did.
Yeah.
I even noted it because, like, it was on screen, and
that's cute.
that was the first time I saw her do it.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I have never seen her doing the head tilt until it was required for the script.
Yeah.
I wish that she had incorporated more of Data's behavior, like, from episode 1.
Well,
but I gotta say, also, her acting has improved a lot since episode 1.
Well, so didn't you say that Daj did some kind of head tilt? And because I remember early on in our podcast, you were like, she's an android, and she did the head tilt thing like Data. There was something, and it's funny because I didn't notice it, and you guys brought it up. But there was some episode where Daj actually did like the head tilt thing, and you guys brought it up.
Did we? That was like 2 months ago. I don't remember.
I remember bringing it up, but I think
you brought that up.
I thought it was Soji. I thought
was
did
it
early on.
Okay, maybe it was.
Yeah, same actress though.
Okay, maybe it was Soji. But I know that we talked about it previously, and I totally missed it. So.
Well,
the
I missed it
giggle
this
after
time.
the tomato bite remind me of like women laughing at salads. Sorry, because like I saw it coming. I was just like, oh god,
that meme.
Here we go with the giggle after the tomato. Ha ha ha. We're eating salads.
The script actually brought up an interesting point in this episode. Soji says that all of her stuff is 3 years old, but that's not necessary that she's 3 years old. Just the lie that's been implanted in her is 3 years old.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Which may or may not solve that issue that we're like, wait, how can she only be 3 years old if Data died, like
20 years
question
ago.
2015, whatever, years ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised no one in the show, I thought they were going to bring it up in the show. They're like, wait, how did she get made from Data when Data pretty much got vaporized?
Yeah.
And they didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
So I'm still hoping that gets an explanation.
Next season.
Yeah, because supposedly Data's their... If Data is their father in, like, that he created them, then what did they do for 17 years? Just, like, sit in stasis and get, messed with? I guess maybe, like, her dream... She sees herself as a marionette in pieces. That's most likely her seeing her sister Daj in pieces. So maybe Maddox at some point went through all of Commander Data's stuff and found both of them in storage in pieces and put them back together 3 years ago. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
I don't know, because the only qualm I have with that is they regularly refer to like the home world of we need to eradicate them, the home world, like we need to know where they come from. So there's something is in this, in the Romulans kind of interaction
must be creating
that's what they've been kind of pushing this whole time. So I think there's more to it. I don't think that Data actually created them physically himself. I think that in essence of Data,
but they're created from him.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he did paint them, though.
Which is, and that's the crazy thing. And that's the piece of the puzzle that I can't quite figure out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's because it fits in the puzzle in a way we haven't thought of yet, and not that they'd forget about that piece.
Agreed.
I wonder if they're going to do this, are they going to ruin Star Trek by doing a Doctor Who on this? Do you guys know what happened with Doctor Who lately? Recently, they gave the last episode gave the origin of the Time Lords and Doctor Who, him herself, and they tied them all together to Doctor Who, him herself, and that, for me, I like Doctor Who because like it's a big, vast universe of weirdness, and this one Time Lord escaped and is going on adventures. Who knows how this person grew up or whatever, and how it led here. But instead, now Doctor Who's the chosen one is the first person to create regenerations and create the Time Lords themselves, and then you're like, oh God, no, don't do this. So are they going to do this where Data's origin is actually the synth invasion? Like,
I hate that.
He wasn't made by Noonien Soon, but Noonien Soon pulled stuff from this invasion of synths that they're trying to stop, and this is the true origin of both the synths and the Borg. Guys, we're geniuses.
No.
I hope not.
That really bothers me, especially because Doctor Who used to... I think it was the Tenant Who, but at some point there was a line where somebody's like, oh, I'm nobody special, and he's like, out of everyone I've ever met, there's never been anyone who's not special. So, like, the whole idea is that, like, everybody has something to offer, so then to go and be like, haha, the Doctor's the only one that matters, and that started with Matt Smith. But, yeah, that really bothers me.
Yep, they went there.
I'm disappointed.
Unfortunately.
To hear that.
They're wrecking that show. God damn it. But
Well, it's been on for like 50 years.
Like
How much can you do? How much can you do?
They need to
just keep having
let it give it a break.
shenanigans, do it like Quantum Leap style.
Yeah.
They need to let that show take a break and just think about it for a while, then come back. But now they're just spamming Doctor Who,
Milking it.
everything's connected. So I hope they don't do this with Star Trek, which it's starting to smell like it. I like how Deanna Troi has become quote unquote weaker as a mother, and it touched my heart. It's just like being a mother hasn't turned her into a better, stronger soldier. She now has
It's made her different.
To me, it's like a softer and like more scared because of the love that she does have for a child. I loved how
Having a kid's terrifying, so it absolutely grounds you, because there was a lot of stuff that I would like do before I had my son, and I'm like, nope, never, nope, because even the thought of not being here for him just terrifies me. But it's terrifying having a kid.
I'm glad you've stopped doing things that are dangerous to your health, Jay.
Yeah, well, yeah. And
like Captain Marvel.
And then I have a stroke, but whatever. That's just my body saying, haha, you were right.
Yikes.
Yeah, it bothered me in Captain Marvel where, like, there's her friend with a daughter. Yeah, her friend has a daughter, and the friend needs to go with Captain Marvel into space and get really dangerous and maybe die. But the daughter's like, go for it, Mom. And she's like, wink, kid, I'll do it. Haha, this is fun. And I'm like, wait, no. You're her only parent.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing this. And they're like, woo, adventure. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then but Troy, she's like, hey, no, man, I can't do this anymore. Like, I got a child. And I was like,
yeah, she said she's not as brave anymore. And he's like, that just means you're more wise.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, then Picard, you're not being wise at all right now.
But that's that brain thing that he has going on.
We haven't mentioned it yet, and there's no like natural place to mention it, so I feel like I'm just gonna do it right now for all of you listening, in case you forgot. Kestra is also the name of Deanna's dead older sister.
Deanna.
Kestra.
Deanna's older.
Holy shit! Good call.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I had a feeling, and I looked it up this morning.
Nice.
Extra points for you.
Yeah, that whole
like...
just in TNG, that whole like episode arc was like heartbreaking.
I know it changed a lot of people's minds about her mom,
Luoxana. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Luoxana
she was so
Troy.
broken. It was just, heartstrings.
I don't remember this episode.
Okay,
like
so
watch it, so.
Luoxana Troy. Deanna gets like flashbacks, I guess, to what was going on with Luoxana. I don't remember like what leads up to the memories. I just like remember the memories themselves. But basically, when either when Deanna was a baby or like before she was born, she had a sister who drowned.
Yeah, and Luoxana Troy was like wasn't she in like a coma or something because she couldn't, like she was in something happened and she was in like guilt, and she'd kind of recessed into her own mind, and Deanna went into her mind to like see what happened, and that's when she found out the truth about her sister or something like that. It was really moving, and I mean it was
with stuff like that. I remember the emotions better than the plots. So
yep.
sorry.
And I could be wrong
Well,
because it's
see, I
been years
didn't-
since I've seen it. I could be like off.
What's going on in the Troy family with their like eldest kids
I
dying?
know.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why they did that.
With the older
just seemed
brother, just to do the like sadness of, if androids were allowed to exist, then he could have lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of directly tied to. Is this a little weird?
Yeah,
Little
it
twist, I think,
it
Little on the
ensures that Deanna and Will are pro android. That's what it does.
Yay.
I mean, while we're talking about it, Will says that he's still in active reserve, but that
Yeah.
it would take something truly like big to draw him into the thing. Y'all may
little-
recall. Hold on. Y'all may recall that I had a theory that season 1 was going to be leading up to the beginning of the android thing, and then season 2 was going to be like the war. If that happens, Will's coming
You know
back.
it.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
coming
I
back.
want to see
my
the Titan.
friends.
I want to see a Titan.
That would be awesome.
So like for his defense grid, I thought for a second like, oh my god, are we in the holodeck? Are we in the Titan? Am I gonna see the Titan?
No.
Oh my god. Oh, okay, we're not. Okay.
We're actually on a planet.
Wow.
Damn.
I'd like to know what they're researching on this planet. Because he said they're there for active research, right?
The regenerative properties of the soil.
That explains the tomatoes. I do like how they have an outdoor pizza oven. That's nice.
Yeah, that was cool to watch for some reason.
I just like
I like the scene.
I like the vision of Riker the pizza chef.
I saw that photo you posted on Facebook with Riker's pizza. It's number one.
Right. Right.
So first off, when we first see Riker, I just have to throw this out as a dad. Like when Kestro's like, "Dad," he's like, "What? Someone put the cards here." What?
Stop yelling.
Like, what do you just come and talk to me? Why are you yelling? Like I do that with my son. He'll say like, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." I'm like, "What?" Like, just come and talk to me. Don't yell across the room.
Yeah, I definitely recall those conversations from the child's point of view. Mom!
So I just love his reaction because it's such a dad reaction. Like, what?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Just come and talk to me. Don't yell.
Man.
Picard. Holy shit.
The family dynamics are amazing. And like Picard
fun.
gets drawn into family dynamics like immediately. Diana just like, you know what you need? You need to take a nap.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And yeah.
I did not like the scolding he got from Deanna Troi though.
Really? I
was
did.
a
I
little-
thought it was really funny that both Diana and Will call him out.
Yeah, it
They
just
know him
seemed
better
a little,
than anyone.
Like
Classic
Well, the
Picard
things-
arrogance.
Yeah, why didn't you like
the
it, Keith?
thing that he's been called out. The things he's being called out for. She's like, you don't know what she's been through. You don't know about
that call
torture
out.
or having your
fair enough.
your consciousness violated. I'm like, wait.
So are
Yeah, he
there
does.
4
Picard's been
lights or
tortured.
5 lights? Let's come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's been tortured. He says consciousness violated by the Borg, and also like, yeah, and you know what, Picard, he just doesn't know what it means to be a parent. He's been a parent before. In that one probe thing. He was also a grandparent. I'm being too much of a nerd, I know.
No.
Dude, no, you're right. I love it.
I mean, if they're gonna base the theme song off the Inner Light, they better remember that the Inner Light exists.
Yeah.
Right.
I did think it was funny that she was like, "Oh, you have a teenager now, haha, good luck." But you're right, that call out was weird,
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah.
It was just like reminding the audience of the stakes a little
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
Yes, that scene was for this series and what they want Picard to be doing and working with, not all the stuff he's actually
Yeah.
done.
I do feel that like all of the scenes that we had with Kestra that were supposed to be just like information gathering were still really cute though. Like when she was just like bugging Soji to see how much like data she
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you have mucus? No, that makes sense. Data would give you mucus." Yeah. I think he'd do that.
That's awesome.
And watching her shower. All right,
Well, I mean, you can only see her head and shoulders. It's not weird.
All right. Just a weird shot for me. I was like, all right, we're doing this.
She does live on a planet that she lives like pretty much by herself with her parents, so I don't think she'd give a shit about that sort of thing, really.
All right.
I come from like a very open family, and like I'm sure it annoyed my mom, but as kids, we'd like walk into the bathroom while my mom was like trying to shower or even go to the bathroom to talk to her. So like,
I don't know what age that stops,
that's
but my son still does that. Like, Daddy.
I'm not sure it ever stops. I definitely still talk to my mom when she's trying to go to the bathroom.
I grew up a little different. There's a hard no. There's a force field there that you will not cross.
We might as well not have doors in this house because
I'm sure I'm sure parents are like, I gotta have at least one room where you don't talk to me. Sometimes, so I mean, that
when
makes
you
sense.
find it, you let me know because it doesn't exist here.
Yeah. So I have to confess, before I saw this episode and I saw that it was really popular, I was like, okay, you guys are just happy to see Diana and Riker, and I'm probably not going to feel the same way because my nostalgia for Star Trek is stronger for Voyager because that's the one I saw as a kid. And when I was younger, I only saw TNG kind of like in jumbled out of order episodes because it would be like when my dad was watching reruns late at night and I would sit down with him to watch it. So I totally expected to be like, okay, you guys are just falling victim to nostalgia. But I was wrong.
I was ready for that too. I thought I was going to be like, I thought that I was saying the same thing. Like, this is just going to be nostalgia and my shields are up. Let's see what you got. But no, I felt good.
But it's because we finally got those scenes that I wanted where we actually spent time with the characters and they tease each other and they like talk about their problems and think
as actual people.
Think about solutions together. Like, can you remember a moment when Raffi, Rios, Agnes, and Picard actually like figured out what to do next together instead of just being like, okay, here's the next thing?
Yeah.
Because I can't.
We got to see Riker and Picard crunch a mystery together. That was nice.
I love how he's like, he told his daughter that Picard was like the best captain ever. That was adorable, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, super cute.
I was kind of hoping that Riker would step in like, I was a captain too on the Titan, and I've saved the universe a couple times myself.
I'm saying, your dad's not so bad.
I should be in the running.
I gotta admit, the scenes with Kestra and Soji were just adorable. I mean, it was just so...
Yeah.
They were just so good. And I think you're right. Like, that actress, Kestra, is amazing. I mean, just... the little things like the eyes and just the facial expressions, and
she's very natural.
A child rambling.
It was so perfect. It was just so like right on. And those two together, and just you see Soji start to open up to her and start to be more just more genuine instead of so closed off and so guarded. And it was really cute to see.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to resist a child harassing you like that?
Well, that's just it. It's cute to see her let her guard down with, like, Kestra. It's a kid. Like,
definitely.
It was just, it was cute. And then it was, what it reminded me of, actually, is Insurrection, when Data and that little boy become friends, and he's trying to teach Data how to have fun. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a little bit of, just a little bit of a similarity in the back and forth between those two. And it literally just... I had so many feels during those scenes.
There's a great level of, like, she doesn't trust adults, but are you going to distrust an 11-year-old? I mean, come on. Distrust that she's real, sure, but distrust, like, her behavior. I hope that... Well, I don't know if I hope this, but... Because I'm kind of tired of sequels. I want brand new things. But if Kestra ever shows up as an adult in a future show, for any reason, she better be a frickin' linguist.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Agreed.
She's invented 11/12 languages? Dang,
and
come
Soji
on.
learned. And Soji
and
learned
it's in, like, memory of her brother, too, which is
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
Just, I'm like, okay, you guys, out of all of the new characters... I'm sorry, Allison, Phil, I love you. Out of all of the new characters, Kestra's my fave.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Period. Just
wow.
No,
I'm a Captain Rios guy.
Captain Rios is fun.
Yeah, he's fine. I was just say that I was kind of looking forward to seeing this wacky, raggedy captain with his shitty starship.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that was going to be a thing, and instead it was just a text message. I was really disappointed at that because I was like, in my science fiction, I love shitty starships and like shitty starships that people love. So I was like, oh my god, what is this going to be? What's this guy going to be like? Oh, all right. We're not going.
No, we
all
could
right,
still
that's
see him possibly.
cool.
Well,
if
I mean, which
they
ship
were going to,
are... At the end of the episode, which ship did they beam onto? Because Rios
To-
and stuff is still...
I thought it was Rios' ship.
They'd gotten there because
Yeah.
he had talked to Rios. And do you remember
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah, because I just don't remember, because the last time he talked to Rios said their ETA was the same thing.
he was like, it's the same time you asked. This is the last 2 times, and Riker was like, huh, okay.
We're still trying to shake someone up.
Yeah,
Wait, how is that
I
even
love that
possible?
Riker's like, yeah.
If you're on your way here, that would shorten the time. It can't be the same time.
Well,
Rios.
Yeah, for
There's
real.
some questions.
We're just going in circles.
Yeah. There's some questions I have, like if Rios was in Starfleet and is out of Starfleet, but is still kind of like unknown. Part of me is like, I wonder if Riker actually like is aware of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if like how big is the pool of people like Rios? You know?
Yeah.
I think pretty big, right?
They are suggesting that it's
Starfleet's-
pretty big and that a lot of people are like no longer happy with
Okay.
Starfleet.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Also, what was Rios's rank before he got kicked out? Did they ever tell us? I presume he was Helm.
I don't remember.
I don't know why I'm even assuming he's Helm. All we know about him is that he's ex-Starfleet, and then he has
Yeah.
a ship,
Mhm.
right?
This is one of the first times in Star Trek we're seeing a captain also be the pilot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I mean,
was kinda
it
neat.
seems like he usually pilots the ship by himself, and he's usually the only one on it. So, yeah. I'm disappointed by how little we know about the new characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with only having 10 episodes, it's hard to flesh them out, I guess. But they could do it a
I
little
mean,
bit
they could
more.
have given themselves an additional 15 minutes an episode if they wanted to. They chose
It worked
not to.
this time.
So, it's like the same thing I said about the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. People were like, well, it's not their fault that they're going so fast. They have to shove everything in. I'm like, no. They promised, the studio said they could have as many seasons as they wanted. They decided on the amount of time they had. So,
And I will say, you've said this a couple times, and in my head, when I listen to the podcast, I always reply, wait, this might not have been their choice. Like, it sounds like this is probably
Yeah.
what they were given, budget and stuff. So, not their choice.
But this
But
episode's an
this
hour
is-
long.
Well, I mean, like, not their choice to have 10 episodes. They're probably only given 10 episodes.
Okay.
I think.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But could they have made the other ones
not
a
that
little
that
longer?
changes anything.
Yep.
All right, fair
Yeah.
enough, Keith. You're right.
Just saying. Finally.
I thought it was really cute, but also like y'all need to keep an eye out on your preteen that she was texting that like old captain that
Right, old creepy captain.
they clearly both think is kind of a liar. They're like, you're a liar, but it's fine. You can be around her daughter. She likes ships, I guess.
I totally thought she was Googling red planets with lightning and 2 moons.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, surprise, see, I
Yeah.
found it. I'm like, yeah. all
No,
right.
I called that
But
creepy
it
friend of
said
mine.
she was,
Hey, she
Yeah.
knows who to text. Okay, that's good.
I met him online.
Wait, that's not creepy at all.
Total sidebar.
it-
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Keith.
really quick, it's such a waste of a character to bring up a interesting character like that just to be just words on the screen.
Yeah.
You know what?
Anyway.
Maybe they beam up to his ship.
Maybe. You might be right.
No. I wish, but no. I hope.
All right,
Maybe.
we'll see.
But you were going to say?
Total sidebar. There's when it's just Will and Jean-Luc talking near the pizza oven. He pours a bottle of a glass of wine out for himself. We didn't get a clear look at the label, but is that a Chateau Picard wine?
Probably.
Ooh.
I don't know. You saw Picard check out the label, so I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah.
When you film stuff, you can't use like a real company because otherwise you'd have to pay them. Typically, they deal with this by turning the bottle away or always having a hand covering the label, but they can also do it by making fake labels. So, if every bottle of wine in this show isn't Chateau Picard, I'm disappointed.
Isn't Chateau Picard a real thing now, though?
It is.
Is it? Because
Chateau-
I should be buying some.
It is a real winery, and they did release a special edition wine for Picard. But I don't think the label they used is the same as the label that they had at the beginning of the show, because again, that they would have to pay out for that. But maybe they paid out for that by advertising their Picards. Whatever. There might be a deal there. That's not my expertise, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
They could have my money for some Star Trek wine.
I have definitely bought Star Trek beer, Star Trek liquor, Star Trek wine. Yeah.
Oh, that exists.
No, I know.
Just go buy it.
No, I've absolutely bought it.
No, I mean Chateau Picard.
No, I know. I'm gonna buy a bottle.
Nice. This is an ad for Chateau Picard. Woo!
I'm actually
No, because
Googling
they've
it.
got like the whiskey and the vodka, the tin Ford vodka, and then they have the Romulan ale. And
Jesus.
you know what I miss? I miss Star Trek: The Experience in Las Vegas, where you can go get warp core breaches and Borg cubes and all that fun stuff at Quark's Bar.
I got to go a couple times. It was pretty awesome.
I loved it.
Nice.
Bring it back. Come on.
Yeah.
Or at least just give me Quarks. I just want Quarks back. Just give me the bar.
Just give me quirks. Well, I mean, if you go to any of the Star Trek conventions, well, I don't know about all of the conventions, but certainly if you go to Star Trek Las Vegas, and I know you know this, but maybe our audience doesn't. If you ever decide to go to the Creation Con Star Trek in Las Vegas convention, they do actually bring out like the decorations for Quarks for the bar area.
And they actually make a lot of the genuine drinks that were at Quarks too, so it's really cool.
It is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, you know, it was a great quote from Will. I wish the ignorance of danger was all that was needed to protect the people we love.
Yeah, I like that.
Well said.
Which was such a huge Picard call out. He's like, fine, don't tell me what's going on. But I'm just saying that's not going to protect us. And while I'm at it, if they kill Kestra, I'm fucking done. I'm leaving. It's the end. No more. I'm not watching anything past that. Okay. That's my breaking point. You can't kill Kestra.
No, Kestra needs to get her own spin-off show is what it means.
Yeah, exactly. They already lost her brother. It's not good for them. It's not good for her, which let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
They're already working on.
Dad, the pizza's burning.
Oh, it's just a tomato.
Cancel red alert.
Man, I wish it was that easy. Just throw away the tomato, and all of a sudden, all of the food is fine.
Yeah. I know.
What was that about Newton's fourth law of thermodynamics, by the way? He says, oh, yeah, let me remind you of Newton's fourth law. No good deed goes unpunished. I'm like, come on, you guys.
That episode. It's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another
I think I've gone
It's
through
funny
my
because
notes
there isn't, like,
by now.
there isn't so much to bag on. Because, like, Nepenthe was so good that I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty good now. Like, I've covered pretty much all my stuff.
It was kind of like having like a warm bath, and like, what are you gonna say about it? Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Right.
Feel good.
It's great. Feel good.
Well, okay, you want to bag on something? Here's the thing. It's totally an unimportant detail, but I just thought it was funny. Dad, the pizza's burning. He goes over. It's just a tomato, whatever. Dinner is served. Let's go eat. When they do start eating, it's dark outside.
Oh, yeah.
Straight dark. And they have all the candles, and it was like, hey, the sun was up like 5 minutes
But
ago.
you don't.
We
That's
don't
what I'm
know the
saying. You
orbit
don't
of
know
this
how
planet.
the planet, like how the sun goes up and down in that planet. You're just assuming.
Oh my
You know
god,
what they
you
say?
guys, that's not how
Yeah,
light refraction
you know what
works.
they say about assuming. No, I'm just kidding.
Strange orbit. This one has sudden nights.
I'm sorry, do physics stop because you're on a different
Yeah, sometimes
planet?
they do. Yeah.
It's
hate you guys.
special physics for this orbit and star that also fluctuates its brightness because of the dust cloud in the solar system.
No, I just like giving you a hard time, Sabrina.
We don't know.
That's all. That's yeah.
I know.
That is funny.
Kestra's funny too. She was like, Mom and Dad helped me through dealing with my brother being dead, so Picard can help you through your sister being dead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the thing is she? Are we still on board that she's not dead or dead? Like, is she coming back or is she not coming back? What do you guys
I think
dead.
Daj is dead now.
Regardless of whether she's dead, Soji is still sad, so it's not really.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah, usually like in shows, we'd be hearing more about Daj every so often to keep her in our mind, so that when she brought her back, it'd be a surprise. But they like so much just like not talked or showed her at all.
Okay.
I think she's off the board now.
I will reserve judgment until it comes out. I already gave the theory, so it doesn't matter. Like, I'll get points where I want.
I'm taking away your points.
Thanks, Keith. I mean, you can't have negative points. It's points or 0 points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not much else to say about the episode.
Oh,
me.
my-
It was my favorite. I mean, anytime you get Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart on screen, I mean, those two are legends. So they're my two favorite actors.
Excuse me. Yes, but also let's not discredit.
Oh, absolutely,
Sirtis.
she's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
She's also amazing.
She smiled at me once.
Well,
I was at Comic-Con, and she was like at a table
I
on
got
her
a photo
phone and
with
stuff,
her.
and I just couldn't help but take a picture. And she like looked up and she like smiled warmly at me, and I just
Lost
fucking.
her
I got a
died.
photo with her and Jonathan Frakes, and I was walking up, and she was the one that kind of like greeted me and kind of pulled me toward, and I was just like, "You're so much more. You're so beautiful in person." And she was like, "John, I like this one. I like him. He can stay. He can stay. I like this one." She's adorable. Yeah, she's so beautiful, adorable, amazing.
I'm not sure if I should actually tell the story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Whoops.
Yes.
When I was younger and still living in San Francisco, I volunteered for one of the Star Trek conventions, and I was extremely lucky to be given the job of being feeder. Feeder. It sounds different than it is. It just means that you sit next to the person who's signing autographs. You take the money so that they don't have to.
Handler, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the handler, but also like you take the picture that people want signed, make sure it's pointing in the right direction so you can make it go faster. Actually, handler is a different job. Handler escorts them from place to place, whereas I was just at the table. But I was given to Commander Data. So I spent 2 days hanging out with him. That was really fun.
Wait. You hung out with Brent Spiner for 2 days?
Yeah, sure did. Are you jealous?
What was he smoking?
That's not creepy.
I
That's
bet
not
she smells
creepy at all.
amazing.
That
Okay.
question.
Sorry. I mean, not smell like. I mean, like, what does it sound like when he reads?
Nope.
What kind of underwear
Mute
does he
Keith.
wear?
Hurry up, mute Keith.
Nope.
Mute Keith.
He made fun of me for
love
going
you,
to the
Brent
bathroom
Spiner.
too much, so whatever.
Cool.
No, okay, so Brent Spiner, he obviously like we didn't interact too much because like most of the time he was paying attention to the people in front of him. But we interacted enough, and he's really fun to hang around. He's really a jokester. He's very flirty. But the reason I bring it up is because Marina Sirtis came over and she was like, "Is he hitting on you?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she goes, "Well, it's good to know that even though he's getting old, he's still not dead." I fucking love her. She's amazing.
So cool. She's so cool. And she just doesn't give a shit. She, in real life, she is just such a badass. She's so cool.
Oh, she's beautiful. Somebody actually said something very rude to her. I'm not going to repeat what it is because screw that person. But
Find
she
that
slapped
person.
him. And I was like, yeah, good.
Nice.
Good job.
Yes.
Yep. It was very insulting. So
Good.
he deserved it. While I'm showing off here, also LeVar Burton came over and made a joke about me marrying him to take his money. Brent Spiner, not LeVar Burton. No, he was like, he made a joke about him being way older, and I was like, yeah. So when he dies, I can have his money, and he high-fived me. I got high-fived by LeVar Burton. Yes.
Cool.
Have you washed your hand yet, or no?
Some G.
That was like 4 years ago. Of course, I've watched my hand since.
Oh, okay.
I will
Why?
hold a cherished
Wait,
memory
did you
in
say
my
touch-
heart forever.
He touched it. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Thank you.
No, I love these
The
kind of
conventions are
stories.
amazing. For anyone listening that has been thinking about going to the Vegas convention, that's the big one every year, and that's actually where I met Sabrina. The conventions are amazing. I've gotten so many autographs and met so many amazing people, and so many lifelong friends from those conventions. So
And if Vegas is too far away for you, Creation is all over
Yep.
the U.S., Chicago, Seattle, San
Yeah.
Francisco, Vancouver, BC even. There's a couple of different ones in Canada. And they do them for specific
Yeah.
fandoms. Las Vegas is the biggest one, so if you want signatures from, like, massive stars, you'll have a better luck of them showing up
Yep.
there. But
There's also
if you can't, it's worth going to the
Yep.
small ones as well.
yeah, there's also small ones which are a lot less expensive than Creation. Those Creation ones are expensive.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they sure are. The less expensive ones are usually not show specific. That's
Right.
the main thing.
Yeah.
But like TNG people, you'll find going to all sorts of comic conventions.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. So conventions
They're
are great.
fun.
Just bring water bottle with you. Bring some snacks with you.
You're gonna be in line for a while.
Bring your charger.
And for the love of God, shower
yes,
before you
please.
go to the con.
Yeah, shower and deodorant.
Yeah.
I hope to one day see a Star Trek convention.
And
That
expect to
sounds
get
You know
sick.
what? Actually, we're gonna have to get a booth at the Vegas convention at some point because this podcast that y'all are listening to, we're gonna be a big deal. So you'll probably see us at a convention
Uh-oh.
together.
We already
at
are. What are you
some
talking
point.
about?
Exactly, right? So
Yep. We've sold 3 t-shirts.
yes,
You can
I
find
just
us
gotta
on
get my
Pop
mom, and then
Geeks.
all of our
true.
moms
Yeah.
will have shirts.
Popgeeks.com.
All 4.
All
Yeah.
of our moms will have shirts. Yeah. Yep. Well, we got a little off track, but I think it's fine. I think we pretty much covered the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, since it didn't suck, there's not a lot to just like keep bagging on.
In summary, we don't know what the heck is going on with Narek. Big question mark about what's going on with Rios not trusting Raffi. Agnes has passed herself out, but everything that's going on planet side,
Oh, yeah.
great. We're
Oh,
into
yeah.
that.
My only parting comment is that I want Riker and Troy to adopt me so I can live with them on the
Oh.
planet.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, I got one more note. A thing that I did like,
Yeah.
which is that I wanted them to do this. They did it. Deanna Troy goes, "I sense nothing from her." I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I
Yes!
needed that because
Yes!
if she's an android and she's like a synth and whatever, but biological, can Troy sense
Nope.
anything from her? But
She's like,
no,
she has all the
there's nothing
movements,
Yes.
she has all the nuances, but I can't read a thing. Yeah.
Oh, and that's the other thing about her mentioning the movements and the nuances. Thank you for putting that in, because it specifies that Diana does not need her powers to be good at her job.
Mm-hmm.
Even though poor thing was panicked the one time she lost her powers for like 2
Oh, yeah.
days. I like to make fun of that episode because I'm like, I know what you guys are trying to do here with like a phantom limb, I've lost a sense thing, but like, man, Diana, like, wait a week before you freak out. Like,
She was
these
getting all
things
up in
come back.
Picard's business, yeah.
Yeah.
But it brought up a thing that like I ponder, and then when I try to bring it up online, it just goes weirdly out of control because I don't think a lot of people think about artificial intelligence. So, like, do you think, let's say 3PO, you guys think he's alive?
To be honest, I get in fights with people a lot because I have a tendency to think of AI very differently from other people because, just as a species, we have a tendency to personalize objects, just assume that animals behave like us, and therefore, like, that AI would behave like us. My favorite AI movie is actually Her because it specifically goes against that.
That is a good one, yeah.
Yes. He's amazing.
So I'm gonna go with no. That unless the AI is specifically designed to feel alive, then
I
it
don't
would
think 3PO's alive. Not in the
Yeah.
traditional sense.
And Mike?
I would
But
say
here's
no,
the thing with
no to 3PO,
Sorry,
but
Michael.
yes to Data. I don't know, just
Yeah.
because he acts differently, you know.
3PO might simply because he's written by a human behaving like a human. Like, I don't think a real AI would be like that. I expect machines to be written like humans in TV shows.
And I sometimes think that I question still sometimes, is Data alive? The positron brain makes me think that there's a consciousness there, but it's always possible that these robots that they're making, all they are is just the visual representation of what consciousness looks like.
Yeah.
And therefore, like, Soji, there you go. Soji, she might
Combine the
not
two
be
names.
there. Saji, she might not be there. Or I wish they would address that. I don't think they're going to go there, but it would be really cool to find out that No, there's nothing inside there. It's just the perfect replication, like holograms are supposed to be.
And that's why it's so easy
of
for them
what it
to
looks
just
like.
turn into murder machines.
Mm-hmm. And if you want really good deep dive in that, find a movie called Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah,
It was really good.
People have been trying to get me to watch that movie for ages, so I will eventually.
Yes.
I think that Star Trek for so long thematically has been pro android being human that they might not, but who knows?
Yeah, it's a fun thing to
Yeah,
think about.
definitely.
Yeah.
Where, like, is that really there, or is it just the image of something being there? That's all I
Nice.
got.
That was deep.
JF, that's
Well, I just it's kind of tough. Like that's one of those philosophical things, you know. It's
no real answer.
no, I know.
exists.
At what point, like, you know, does it cross over to that? It's like the age-old like question, you know. At what point does it become sentient? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, like that.
And we're discovering all the time that other animals are more sentient.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
we give them
So
credit.
I need more time. That's such a deep dive. Like it's going to take me more than a few minutes to process my feelings and my thoughts.
For sure. And there's more than one question there, because there's, you know, the truth about AI and machine learning in reality, but then the added aspect of thematic work,
Yeah,
metaphorical work in fiction.
yeah.
So it gets complicated
Yep.
real fast.
So my answer is I don't really have an answer right now because I need
Cool.
like a week to process.
Excellent.
That's
Has
a whole
everybody
episode
gone-
by
Fun to
itself.
ponder.
Has everybody gone through all their notes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See if there's anything
Yep,
else you want
I'm
to say.
good.
Okay, there's just one more thing that I want to say then. Thank you for Will calling her
I
Imzadi instead
love
of her
it.
name. Yep, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I liked it. Thank you.
I didn't get that. What's an Imzadi again?
Imzadi is
he uses it
she calls him Imzadi
in like the first episode
telepathically
like
in
when
the
they
very first episode, the first time they see each other again. I believe it means beloved.
I thought it was like the pet
Yeah,
name
I think
for
you're
each
right.
other, something like that, like the honey or hey love, hey honey kind of thing.
It's honey, but it's from the
Yeah.
Betazoid culture, language rather. So Imzadi, beloved.
Oh yeah,
It was nice.
absolutely.
Nice.
I'm always being way too cynical about like how, because I got so burned by Star Wars, I'm just like thinking, you guys don't know Star Trek. Oh wait, you guys, they keep on getting the references right. So
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Yeah, I mean there's some level where I'm like, okay, you can get references like Imzadi pretty easily, whereas doing thematic equalization is harder. So yeah, that detail is a much easier detail to get right. But whatever, I'm still gonna appreciate it.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
that they try, because
Yeah.
you know, they could easily just go, we don't need to do that. Fucking
They'll still watch
Yeah,
it.
we will.
Yeah.
They'll still get my money. You got Picard in it?
Basically.
You take my money.
Yeah.
This show could not have existed without.
Oh, Patrick Stewart. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Next
Absolutely.
episode though looks pretty lit.
I was so
we're gonna do a TNG show with no Picard.
I was so
Ha-ha,
sad
no.
when I wasn't at that convention when he was there. It was the year that I couldn't go. Well, I haven't been able to go for a few years just because of money stuff, and that was the first year that I couldn't make it in a couple years, and I was just like, no. And then he came out, and I'm like, no, I missed it. But I mean,
Funny story, that SF convention I was in, he was
Nice.
actually at, but like nobody could get near him. He brought his own
yeah.
security and everything.
Was that
I
when
mean,
he was doing?
which
Was that when
totally
he was
fair.
he was doing a play in Berkeley for a long time with Ian McKellen? Was that during that time? Because it would make sense that he had his own security.
I think it was.
Okay,
Jay, I
no
don't know.
worries, no worries.
Can't tell you.
I'll say that Hugh continues the tradition of Star Trek having crappy deaths for important characters.
Kirk.
So, yep. Welcome to the family, Hugh. You got Kirk. What lame way will they kill Picard?
Don't
up,
even.
Keith.
Yeah, how
Don't
dare
talk
you?
like that.
How dare you? Now
Sorry.
you're really
No,
fired.
hey,
Now
don't
you're
blame
really
me.
Man,
It's
fired.
at
not
least
me.
Hugh was
It's
in
not
a
me.
freaking captain
them.
and admiral. I mean,
So, speaking of Kirk throwbacks real quick. This is way earlier in the episodes, but I love how Picard's like, I'll even take a demotion to captain if you give me a ship. You know, if my
I same. I thought that was
love
funny.
like, come on. Too funny. It worked for Kirk. It'll work for me.
All right. Well, I mean, that's what he did with Raffi lying to her animal friends. So.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Taking a page from the Kirk handbook.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So I think I had like one theory additional to the ones that I've had before, but what was it? Oh, yeah, I already said it. I think Will is gonna show up in a future season, being pulled off of reserve into active duty.
Yes.
That's my
Will he be
only
on the
new
Titan?
theory. Anybody? Michael, do you have anything?
That's what I was thinking as well, because when I watched it the second time, I was like, that's too much foreshadowing for them to not do that, so I'm looking forward to that.
I agree. I think it's going to be awesome. And as far as theories go, I think Soji and Kestra are going to become BFFs, and I think that we're going to see some video chatting, possibly, in future episodes.
That'd be cool.
Adorable.
I would love that.
Again, if they kill Kestra, I'm murdering everyone. Keith?
The queen cell is now the shotgun on the wall for someone to use, and then like I thought like that Hugh was going to actually make it there, but he
what
didn't.
does the queen cell
So
do
it'll
aside
be-
from transport people?
I'm gonna guess it can control the entire cube itself,
Yeah.
so that Soji can take control of the cube when we find out the cube is actually that AI mom.
Okay. Yeah, dope. I like that. So Soji takes over the whole cube with the queen cell. Cool theory. Like it. All right. I think that's us for today. We actually didn't go as long as I expected, but like you guys said, it's because we were bagging on stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was like that was a nice bath.
Great job
Yeah,
with
it was
this
warm.
episode, Picard. I'm sure people who have been on the fence will be pulled over to the positive side with this one. Yeah.
Those of us like
Excellent.
me and Michael.
I hope we will have more scenes like
Absolutely.
these that are taking their time, talking about like people's feelings as well as the plot. Alrighty. As usual, you guys can always find us on Pop Geeks, and please do, because there's a comment section there, and I want to know what your theories are. I'm gonna add like a theory category for theories that came from our
Oh,
audience.
nice. Good call. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
And thank
Great
you to
idea.
whoever. Someone gave us a positive review on iTunes, I think you said.
Oh,
Yeah?
that was Max. Max.
Thanks,
Max.
Max.
Thank
Max.
you,
Mom.
Max. Thank
Much
you very much
appreciated,
for the
dude.
review.
Thanks,
we
Max.
appreciate it.
We love you.
That just really quickly, Max, like he's my best friend from like high school. We both met because like the entire class chose their groups, and then we were the last two that were left
no.
because we didn't have friends. And then we, eventually we bonded over Star Trek.
All right.
The rest is history.
One of us.
Nice.
One of
Great.
us.
And they're both finally watching Stargate, which
nice.
I'm very happy about.
Nice.
Although
yeah.
Max seems to have
We
watched it
enlisted.
much faster than you, Keith. But maybe that's because you're watching
yeah,
like
he
6 shows at a
blazed.
time.
Yeah, he mainlines the one and watches it on his phone.
Ah, watches on his phone. Stargate.
Yeah, crazy people that
I'm
do
gonna miss
that.
so much. Yeah. Okay. Pop Geeks. You can find us on Twitter at 4hosts. You can find us at thereare4hosts.com. And Keith, would you like to call us out on this one?
I'd like to remind everyone to check out The Orville. It's a very
come
great
on.
show. It's like Star Trek.
Wrong.
And also, oh, wait. Guys, just remember to
There
keep
it is.
looking up.
We'll see you guys next
Thank
time.
you very
Thank
much,
you.
everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
We out.